last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
Good morning. Today is Friday, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Vayishlach, Tesvuf Kislev Tuvshin Pai Vuf. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host on Edge. While in Syria, people are gathering in the streets to celebrate a year since the Assad regime fell, a new peace agreement between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo was signed yesterday in Washington, aiming to end roughly 30 years of violence along their shared border. President Donald J. Trump announced the deal in the newly renamed Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace, the former U.S. Institute of Peace building in Washington that now carries his name after a White House decision this week. The agreement, already called by some the Washington Accords, includes plans for tighter border control, disarming armed groups in eastern Congo, and closer economic cooperation between the two countries, especially around Congo's important mineral resources. Leaders of Rwanda and Congo say they hope this will finally bring stability to communities that have lived with fighting, massacre, and mass displacement for many, many years. Let's talk about Canada. You imagine that you're living in the 21st century and everything is great, right? It is great. However, Quebec's government is moving to tighten rules on religion in public life, and Jews and other minorities are being targeted. A new bill would restrict public prayer, davening, and limit public institutions from offering only religion-based menus, like in restaurants, takeouts, like kosher and halal meals. Can you imagine that? This plan expands a 2019 law known as Bill 21 that has been demonstrated widely across the country for a long time, that already bans many public officials such as judges, police officers, teachers, and other civil servants from wearing religious symbols like kapelig, stramelig, turban or hijab at work, and requires faces to be uncovered for public services. There is some news out of Iran. Today, Iran's Revolutionary Guard held a major drill in the Gulf and near the Strait of Hormuz, firing large numbers of ballistic and cruise missiles at simulated targets, together with drone strikes. In the last few months, they also appear to have carried out undeclared missile tests inside Iran and are openly talking about extending the range of their missile force. There is major panic among Iranians in the meantime. While they're spending a lot of money on bombs and other things, Iran's currency is crashing again, and many people there are in panic. The rial is now around 1.2 million rials for $1. 1.2 million. Imagine you have to count that. After being about 800,000 before the war with Israel in June. A devaluation of about 50% in 5 months. Iranians are rushing to buy gold, gemstones, and other precious metals, jewelry, especially in Tehran and Mashhad, so they can hold on to their wealth in something small that they can carry if there is a war or they need to escape. Let's talk about investing, right? Go invest in the S&P 500, tech, retirement, other funds to be able to save your money. You'll need it when you marry off your kids. Sure, I know, it's very easy for me to say this, but how? What on earth am I supposed to do? What are my risks? What if the market crashes? And how does it affect me if I'm on government programs, right? What about taxes? Too much, right? I was in the same boat until I met Bright Path. They don't just take your money, they actually set you up. They help you put your money in a portfolio that you control, but they guide you to invest your own money in savings, portfolio, retirement funds with a plan built just for you. What's the catch? Well, I also thought that. But the catch is just one affordable setup fee. That's it. One affordable setup fee. He guides you, sits down with you, trusted by hundreds of Ingelat who already are set for life thanks to Brightpath. Call them now, WhatsApp them, 929-675-9115. Mention on Edge, you'll get a discount of 10%. Brightpath Financials. When traveling to Israel, just so you know, don't just trust Google Maps. Well, some say Waze is more reliable, but still, always check with your local experts before you plan a trip inside of Israel. Why? Yesterday, a car with Haredi Jews from America accidentally drove deep into Shechem. Locals began attacking the vehicle, wanting to lynch them. Calls went out on Arab social media for people to come and hurt the Jews. Well, Baruch Hashem, Palestinian Authority police arrived very fast, pulled them out, and transferred them safely to the IDF at the JIT checkpoint. All of them came out unharmed, Baruch Hashem. I remember many years ago, about 10 years ago, my friends had the similar story in Hebron, and actually a local Arab saved them, took them out of the car. The car was attacked, was almost a total loss, and he took him out of the car. He was a local contractor and took them into his home until the IDF the next morning came and saved them. I remember them, two of my friends. One of them is a musician. a musician. Remember the tunnel where terrorists are trapped inside? The IDF gave them two choices. Come out with your hands up, give up your weapons, or here will be your burial. Well, there is the update. 4 of the Hamas commanders who tried to escape the tunnels on Sunday were killed, have been identified as 4 senior Hamas members. The IDF identified them as the East Rafah Battalion commander Muhammad Bawab and his deputy Ismail Abu Labda, and also along with his company commander Tawfiq Salim and Abdullah Hamid, the son of senior Hamas officials. Bawab and Abu Labda, were involved in planning the October 7th attacks on southern Israel, and Hamid served as a security officer in their unit. Yasser Abu Shabab, the Gaza militia leader, who had been working alongside Israel against Hamas in parts of southern Gaza, was shot and killed yesterday in eastern Rafah. Israeli assessments say he was attacked by unidentified gunmen while he was operating in the area with his the northern forces, what they call them, Popular Forces Group, and had been managing under Israeli coordination. Palestinian civilians celebrated his death by their usual means of celebrating death, giving out candies and goodies in the streets of Gaza. People were celebrating, singing, candy, eating. They usually do that every single time Palestinian terrorists attack or kill or bomb or suicide. They commit suicide attacks inside of Israel, or even in these areas, killing Israeli soldiers. While his funeral was happening, commander of the Popular Army Northern Forces in north of the Strip, Rami Kalas, who heads an armed militia based in eastern part of Gaza City, released a message after the death of Abu Shabab. His men will continue the same path of eliminating terror, just as they acted before against Hamas. We will not stop because of Abu Shabab's death. 6 terrorists were killed, dozens wanted men were arrested, and hundreds of thousands of shekels in terror money were seized as the IDF completed Operation Chamesh Avanim in northern Shomron. The operation lasted about 2 weeks and included the Commando Division, the Menashe Brigade and Shomron Brigade, and Air Force and Shin Bet Security Services and Border Police Forces. The forces, well, we reported many of the stories here throughout the week, right? The forces carried out more than 30 precise airstrikes, searched hundreds of locations, confiscated many weapons, and in some cases demolished homes of terrorists. The IDF also released body camera footage from one of the fighters showing arrests and close-range activity during the raids. We already showed them throughout the week. Iran tried to use the Thai hostages as a weapon to damage Israel's economy, but the plan failed. Let's talk about that. Hamas and other terror groups kidnapped 31 Thai citizens on October 7th, and Thailand turned to Iran to help secure their release. Iran agreed, but demanded that Thailand order all 30,000 Thai workers in Israel to leave, hoping a mass exit of Thai farm workers would badly hurt Israel's agriculture sector. In the end, only a few thousand left. Most Thai workers had returned by May 2024, and their numbers have since grown, blocking Iran's attempt to use the hostages as long-distance economic pressure on Israel. And look who's getting hurt more. Look at Iran now. Sad for their citizens. Let's talk about Protobyte. 347-354-1237. Protobyte, we thank you very much for sponsoring our show. They are wonderful when it comes to building a complex system, being web and app development. 347-354-1237. Mention on Edge for a good discount. The United States military has conducted another deadly strike on a drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean, killing 4 terrorists on board the ship, according to the Pentagon. The attack on Thursday comes while the administration is already under pressure, under fire, I would say, after it became known that the boat was hit twice, that another boat was hit twice in a single strike on September 2, which is now under investigation. The FBI raided the home of the suspect, January 6 pipe bomb suspect, we reported here yesterday, identified in reports as Brian Cole from Virginia, described as the one who planted the pipe bombs. Agents are searching for evidence tying him to the unexploded pipe bombs left near the RNC and DNC offices in Washington on January 6. So far, more than 1,500 people have been arrested over January 6 Capitol riot on charges ranging from unlawful entry and disorderly conduct to assaulting police officers and even seditious conspiracy. Some of the toughest sentences include 22 years of Proud Boys leader Enrique Terrio, and 18 years for Oath Keepers, founder of Stewart Rhodes. President Trump has promised pardons for many January 6th defendants, and FBI Director Kash Patel says Biden's FBI will be exposed in courts for allegedly covering up the truth about the pipe bomber. Well, because he was identified to be, I guess, a man of color. J.D. Vance says he does not believe the Republican Party has an anti-Semitism problem. In a new NBC interview, he said, "Do I think the Republican Party is substantially more anti-Semitic than it was 10 or 15 years ago? Absolutely not." And called claims that anti-Semitism on the right is exploding kind of slanderous. The New York Times is suing the Pentagon in federal court over new media rules. Under the policy, reports must promise not to seek or publish unauthorized information, even if it is not classified, or they lose their press pass. The Times and reporter Julian E. Barnes refused to sign, saying, "This violates free press and fair process rights." And more than 30 major outlets like Fox News, CNN, and Reuters have also refused and lost normal access, while a smaller pro-Trump group now fills most of the seats in the building, in the briefing room, in the Pentagon. Immigration arrests in the United States have increased since the start of President Trump's second term. Well, almost over 10 months ago, based on new government data. The administration says 1,100 deportations are taking place on an average day. Last month, the mother of Caroline Levitt's nephew was also detained. A federal grand jury again refused to indict New York State Attorney General Letitia James. The first try fell apart after a judge threw out the mortgage fraud case, saying the lead prosecutor was appointed in an illegal way. The Justice Department tried again with new prosecutors, but this new grand jury also said no to bringing charges. The Supreme Court has given Republicans a big advantage by approving Texas's new election map for 2026 midterms. In a 6-3 decision, the justices cancelled a lower court ruling that said the map was probably an illegal racial gerrymander, sorry. I'm not so familiar with these terms, I'm sorry. Meaning it was drawn in a way that hurts minority voters and helps one party. The new map adds 5 Republican-leaning seats, making it easier for the GOP to win more seats in the next elections. Now, if you noticed my mistake with the Jerry or gerrymander, I thank you, because it means that you're actually watching. Okay, David Wanunu is actually watching your business when you hire him to be a consultant for your business. Get in touch with him, david@thetrepperplan.com, or call him 845-414-8100. He's great when it comes to setting up your business for life so that you make a ton of money and you run your business well. 845-414-8100, Reb David Wanunu. A fire broke out last night in the Tosha Besmedrish in Canada, in Beaubriand. I think pronounced it like that, right? Okay, anyway, it started from the boiler room in the electric room, actually. The boiler in the electric room in the basement, and heavy smoke spread throughout the entire building. The fire department arrived quickly, put the blaze under control, and a skunim helped evacuate people's frum and Sefer Torah. Baruch Hashem, nobody was hurt, but the town had no electricity after that. I hope they're back on again. President Donald J. Trump has changed architects on his planned new White House ballroom. Architect James McCrary II, led the design until late October, and although there were some disagreements, reports say they split on good terms. A new architect is now taking over the project, while McCrary II, his name is, will stay on as part of the wider design team. A man who tried to steal a diamond-studded Fabergé locket by swallowing it has now had it safely recovered. He swallowed it. Police say the octopusy egg locket, worth about $19,000, came out naturally and did not need medical help, this guy. The 32-year-old was arrested soon after the theft, and the locket, covered in diamonds and blue sapphires, opens to show a small 18-karat gold octopus inside. The United States has quietly deployed a new squadron of cheap suicide UAVs, drones, in the Middle East, based on the Iranian Shahed 136 design. The Lucas drone, an advanced American version, can fly long distances, operate in coordinated drone swarms, and strike vehicles and other targets. Around 24 American personnel are operating the system from a classified base in the region. A senior US official called this a scenario reversal against Iran, saying that the Shahed 136 is now being turned back against them in their own areas. Tesla has revealed a new video of Self-Optimus humanoid robot, this time running with body movements that look very close to those of a human runner. Independent analysts who measured the video estimated that the robot reaches roughly 6 to 8 miles per hour, similar to a light human jogging speed. For Tesla, this is another sign that Optimus is progressing from slow walking demonstrations to faster and more natural motion, which the company hopes will later allow the robot to work in factories and in other real-world environments. Now we understand why Walmart and Amazon are firing most of their workers. EasyJet says it plans to restart flights to Israel on March 29th, just a few days before Pesach. Ezra Shemisburg for my English friends out there, so you know. This is mainly for passengers from England, because everyone flies to Israel, has to pay, there's expensive tickets, but those who want to find cheap tickets, EasyJet used to be very cheap. Well, when they flew to Israel, and now they're planning to resume their airline flights to Israel, to Tel Aviv, and they say they're going to add many more routes to and from Tel Aviv after that as well, which is also very good news. Before we continue, a quick word from our sponsors: Shawarma Delight, 26 Spring Valley Marketplace, or SDNY.store. Shawarma Delight, great shawarma and great food. B'chlal. Arrive Express for a taxi 845-622-1111, and from Monroe 845-254-1111. That's you can find this taxi service very useful and very reliable here in the upstate region of New York. Wise Capital Group. Well, anywhere in the world, if you want to invest and you want to invest in America mainly, you can borrow some dollars from Wise Capital Group, and they will approve your loan faster than you can think. And 718-831-2168 with a no closing cost special program that they offer as well. And if you mention on Edge, they'll give you special rate guarantees. Historical facts of the day for Yid Dalet Kislev Tufshim for Tesvav Kislev Tufshim Pai Vuv, and also Tezayin, which is tomorrow Shabbos. Rabbi Yida Anusi, Rabbi Yakudish, known as the Rebbe and the Nusi of Klal Yisrael, and the compiler of the Mishnah, who preserved Torah Shebal Peh under the Roman persecution. Rabbi Vrum Even Ezra, the second Mechaber of Buta Knesias, Rabbi Lei's official of Broidi, the leading Reuven Poisek of Broidi in Galicia. Rabbi Srul Ephraim Fischel Seufer, Schreiber, the Av Bezdin of Nanash, the Hungarian Reuven Dayan, Talmud of Chasam Seufer, the Ksav Seufer, and also Mechaber of Asfai Eretz, and others for them. The Simcha Binim Seufer of Preshberg, the Shaivet Seufer, Mechaber of Shaivet Seufer, and the Rav and Av Bezdin of Preshberg, and the grandson of the Chasam Seufer. Rabbi Ful Evan Tzir, the Ruv of Fez, a major Dayan and Av Bezdin in Fez, Morocco, central figure in the Even Tzur dynasty. Now, Rabbi David ben Rabbi Yaakov Yosef Tversky, Zeichet Tzadik Gekudesh Levrucha, the Square Rebbe from Chernobyl Square dynasty. And also, as the Yutzat is today, Rabbi Chaim David HaKohen Lebevich, he's known as the Rabbi David Varshever, the great nephew of the Talmud of the Chofetz Chaim. On Shabbos, Tezayin Kislev. Well, you know what? I take the feedback very seriously. People call me with feedback, and one of them actually left me this message with the Yurtzaten. The Yurtzat of David Leib Schwartz of Bnei Brak. He was known as the Heilige Tzaddik, a Lamed Vov Tzaddik, a hidden Tzaddik in our times, a big Baal Tzedakah who left no children, but was held in great esteem by many Gdolim. People came to for bruchas. It was a major deal. Also, the Yurtzat on Shabbos is Reb Shmuel ben Reb Avrum, the Reb Avrum Yehida, the Baal Mechad of Lekita Busa Lekita. And may all their names and all their neshumas be a Mailetz Yosef for all of us down here. And Vayishlach Yaakov Maluchim, Hashem will help and send Maluchim and Doiren Tefillah, like Rashi says, Doiren Tefillah and Melchuma. Let us hope that with Doiren, you, like my Rebbe says in Pesgoma Reis, the Pittsburgh Rebbe says, that if you give Doiren, you give Shvach, that's why we say Psika the Zimra before we daven, if you give Shvach for the Eibishter, you thank Hashem for all the small little things that you have in your life, and then you daven to Hashem, the Tefillahs are way more neskabel, just like you see by Yaakov Avini. Anyway, Hatzlucha Rabba, have a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see you, Mez Hashem, next week.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.